Finally, we can go back to the beginning of the Exorcist saga twice. They made an Exorcist prequel, and then later they'd make it again. Sure, we got a little bit of Father Merrin's story at the beginning of the first Exorcist, the sequence that when I first saw it made me think I rented the wrong movie. Are you sure this isn't one of Cannon's Alan Quartermain movies? This will be the best idea for a prequel to a classic since the 2001 A Space Odyssey prequel, Caveman. Set in the 1940s, the story has to do with a younger Father Merrin, this time played by Stellan Skarsgård, and how he first encounters the demon Pazuzu in Kenya. But it wouldn't be an Exorcist film without some craziness behind the scenes. Sometimes referred to as Exorcist Dominion early on in production, this comes from director Paul Schrader, who came in after John Frankenheimer stepped down, and it had Terminator 2 co-writer William Wisher, along with some music by David Lynch regular Angelo Badalamenti, and Academy Award-winning cinematographer Vittorio Storaro of Apocalypse Now. He can shoot some beautiful horror movies too. He shot Argento's Bird with the Crystal Plumage. All those highly acclaimed names attached means the studio should be thrilled to promote this ambitious film. Nope! After viewing an early cut, Morgan Creek demanded reshoots to make it bigger and scarier and gorier, since they deemed Schrader's psychological thriller approach to be unmarketable, but when the studio demands grew and grew and Schrader was pissed that he was left out of the editing room, Rennie Harlan was hired to basically redo the whole movie, which became Exorcist: The Beginning and was released in 2004, while Schrader's version, retitled Dominion Prequel to The Exorcist, got a limited 2005 release. Which means it's past 1991, so we do get the Robin Hood theme over the Morgan Creek logo this time. But unfortunately, I can't tell if I'm watching an Exorcist prequel or an X-Men prequel. This is making me nervous. Nothing good can come from this kind of setting.
So, who was responsible for this?
Interesting accent. You're undercover from our allies, aren't you? Once a German trooper was found murdered, Father Merrin is called upon to decide which among his flock will be punished.
You give me 10 of them, or I will kill them all. Men, women, and children.
You have 5 seconds.
Okay, shit. Let me try to remember which ones snore at night. I don't know. After witnessing these executions, I'm starting to not trust this officer. Eventually, he gives him some names once they threaten to kill everyone instead.
It's too late, Father. You had your chance.
No, please! Take Yost and Jan!
What? Why us? Because you always come back for seconds when we're low on gruel. Anyway, after that horrific vacation, we move on to Father Francis, who, the hell, you got that toy hat from a Five Below, didn't you? Father Merrin is going through a crisis of faith at the moment, which no shit, and is now an archaeologist asked to uncover a 5th century church, and if there's time, return the Shankara stones. We want to thank you, Father, for getting the obligatory Indiana Jones reference out of the way. It's starting like a cop film. He's the only man for the job, despite being retired from the church force. Relax, we'll even give you your own translator. He'll explain the animal sacrifices along the way.
You think we are savages? Huh?
I think some of you are good people.
You're one of the good ones. You only sacrifice the animals to make some tasty burgers. We'll be much safer in here. We're under the watchful eye of our holy leader, Jim Jonas. It's taking some getting used to, because Gabriel Mann, who plays Francis, looks more like the younger Merrin than Stellan Skarsgård does. Good news, though. We found it! The mighty breast of the concubine of Pazuzu! Upon finding the church, a mystery sets in, where it's in such pristine condition that it must have been buried intentionally to cover up those bad boys before the tribe gets too excited. The scorching hot weather is bad enough as it is. Get the hell up, you already took your coffee break. How are they supposed to get any work done with villager Cheche showing up acting weird?
Yeah.
Careful, that's a sprained ankle waiting to happen. Someone help me out over here. Huh? He probably died. Instead, he has his eyes set on the lovely Dr. Rachel, one of the many characters who will be played by a different actor when they do the Harlan version. Here she's played by Clara Bellar of AI, and who has a cooler wardrobe than Merrin. Merrin is dressed in peak scout leader T-ball coach chic. Still looks better than some of these effects. Yeah, they did what they could, I guess, given that the studio gave Schrader next to no extra money to polish the effects. And what about this place makes you think it's safe to go walking around at night? Take one wrong turn and you may end up in a leper colony. Nothing that a little merthiolate can't cure. We'll get you patched up before you know it. Here, let's have a nice dinner in front of him to give him a taste of the good life. No matter what the conversation is, Merrin always has a look of, I'm quietly judging you. And he's still got God around to help him out. Say, what kind of divine force turned out the lights? God's helping to set the mood. So, what do you do for fun around here? Oh, and sorry for the smell. My patients always kill the vibe. By the way, just so you know, I take up the whole bed. Uh-oh, dream sequence. I'm watching this right after Exorcist 3, so there'd better be an appearance from Fabio or Patrick Ewing in here. Instead, we get Darkman wandering around looking for his stopwatch. And Pazuzu makes an appearance, just when I was starting to forget that this is an Exorcist film. Now he'll recognize that face when they uncover some statues. Either that, or someone made a statue dedicated to their love for Kurt Barlow of Salem's Lot. How in God's name did any of the paint survive that? Good news though, you're healed! Now about that face of yours, I know a guy in Beverly Hills that can help with that. Now that the church has been dug up, wow, it's amazing what being buried for over 1,000 years can do for a place. Whatever went on in here, I'm guessing was very disturbing. The statues all have a look of they've seen some shit and it ain't good. For instance, look at this. They're flabbergasted by the unholy CGI. Oh, and go ahead and open that right up. You're lucky it didn't release a swarm of locusts. As well preserved as the upstairs is, whoever owned this temple before didn't pay much attention to keeping the basement presentable. Let's take a break, I guess. Not that much has happened so far.
I've got it! Richard Chamberlain is Alan Quatermain in King Solomon's Mines. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, November 22nd at a theater near you.
We're back. Have they found some evil shit yet?
Say it's dedicated to him. Some pagan god of these parts.
No, that's a statue of Orko, you idiot. Turns out there was a lot of human sacrifice going on down there. Well, yeah, I could have told you that as soon as they opened the thing. And the locals don't exactly want them to dig up the long-since buried evil. The neighborhood is going to shit more so than usual. Look, there's even more bad CGI animals than normal. That doesn't set their plans back any. Do you mind? I'm drawing up the quickest way to turn the temple into Kenya's first Pizza Hut buffet. It's for the best they call in some military to make sure there's no looting going on. I'm guessing Sergeant Major Ralph Brown does a good job. He'll also be an exorcist at the beginning. These two soldiers are gonna be the most interesting, only because we have to have a couple characters decide they want to steal from the place. We don't have a big enough body count in the first half. Someone do something dumb so they can get killed. A handful of these collectible King Tut coins and we'll be rich. Unless, of course, they get caught. What in the world? It goes without saying you two have a lot of explaining to do. Guess they're starting to see the effects of releasing the evil. A baby was born dead and covered in maggots, and Cheche is getting a botched tennis elbow surgery. They're told that the crime scene invokes Christian imagery rather than pagan, so it's like a murder mystery now. Good. This movie could use another creepy monologue from Brad Dourif. Though I question some of the framing here. Where's this scene going? Would you rather I stand somewhere else? And now that Cheche is doing better, he can go back on tour. He's played by musician Billy Crawford. And Father Merrin can't exactly get over his PTSD when the soldiers are invoking the memories he's trying to work through. It's pretty much repeating the opening scene, where the Major is threatening all of them with execution to find out who killed his men. Julian Wadham plays the Major in both versions of the film, though I'm surprised there wasn't a version where he was played by Jason Isaacs. He feels a bit safer punching this guy out than he did the Gestapo at the beginning. His only punishment, one less cigarette break a day. Hey, Father, you mind if I join you? I am struggling to come up with things to say while watching this. Also, I forget that there's classrooms in the place. You're all tardy and are being written up.
Well, I didn't think I would see so many of you today.
We're just here for the delicious rectangle pizza. And then it gets real weird real fast. Great, the janitor's here. And he's pissed Father Francis gave his son an effing gym. It's actually a horrific scene where they find that he slaughters a bunch of them in the class. Gotta have something to do with this guy. It's not doing a lot to restore Merrin's faith. Hey, it's okay. Just go to the teacher's lounge and get yourself a drink. But at least Cheche's doing much better. He'll be back on his feet, weirding people out in the village in no time, provided he gets over the slight side effect of possession. I knew it. Possessed by Dr. Claw. This is gonna get wacky. Kidding. We gotta wait for the Rennie Harlan version to get to the super wacky stuff. This one's still a mix of a little funny and a little creepy.
Don't ever touch me with that again, priest.
Gonna need more morphine. I'm sure that was nothing. Probably just injured my head myself. I am drinking a lot more. Only a baptism will help Cheche. That is, if they believe him about his new cross burn.
What about the burn on his forehead? Did I imagine that?
It's an injury in the rough shape of a cross.
Right? Even though it wasn't there before, we always get spontaneous crucifix burns. See, look, he's okay.
Doctor, please would you ask him if he would like to become a Christian like Appa and myself?
Nah, I'm a Scientologist now. Oh, and the Major shot himself and left Merrin a message.
Said he understood what you were going through, and that this was the only way out. Any idea what he meant?
What? I'm not that drastic. I just got myself a stress ball. I do appreciate that this really is the only post-Exorcist 2 follow-up where it actually does feel like Exorcist 2 is in the continuity of it. It doesn't go quite as psychedelic as that, but it comes close. Like, yeah, I could see Richard Burton's Father Lamont stepping on a bed of spikes in front of Locust James Earl Jones in this universe. That one even had a younger Father Merrin in it too. And if someone was thrown against a statue in that movie, it probably would also be done in super cool slow motion while the demon talks shit.
I warned you about that, priest.
Maybe we don't want this man attending the church. It took demon possession to realize that he totally pulls off the bald head look.
I am perfection.
Perfect. Satan made you look like a dick. This place is going to hell. No, he blocked off our access to the temple. Wait, that's good. Like hell, I want to go back in there again. It's actually getting a little more interesting now. Amazing clearing the rubble action. Have you considered a bulldozer? But while you were all busy with that, Father Francis went way too far with his Jesus cosplay. How the hell did that happen? And for the love of God, stop showing the bad hyena effects. I'm gonna need to take another break. Need an extra coffee to get through this one.
Quartermain! Quartermain!
I get the idea. I'm glad to see you too.
Richard Chamberlain, Sharon Stone, and James Earl Jones in Alan Quartermain and the Lost City of Gold. Rated PG.
We're back. Any luck breaking those rocks?
Look out!
Cool. Now Now I could still avoid that place like the plague. Or, well, better go inside and look for Rachel, otherwise the climax of the movie won't happen. Even Rachel is being seduced by evil, as her dreams were so good she wants to go back to them, right? She got to hang out with Samuel L. Jackson. That does sound awesome. I'm wondering if it was a wet dream too. She is in the mood now.
You're a passionate man, Merrin.
No, Cheche is now possessed by Mary Beth Hurt. No, really, that is Mary Beth Hurt doing the voice, as she's married to Schrader in real life. The movie started out looking like an X-Men prequel, and now I'm certain it's an alternate sequel to The Mummy. Like a lot of Exorcist movies, it too dives into spiritual warfare, temptation, and struggling with one's faith. Like how here we have Merrin coming face to face with an evil who is offering to make him uncaring about his own personal demons. So with that, he finds the strength to fix his connection with God, even when, during the exorcism, he's given the ultimate temptation of rewriting the past to make himself the hero, only it's a deal with the devil, so it actually gets more people killed. It's a very Schrader-like story, so I could see what would draw him to wanting to do an Exorcist movie, as we've seen other works of his that revolve around people of faith, like Hardcore or First Reformed. The climax is good. I wish there was more stuff like this present throughout the rest, and that they had the money to fix the effects, but as it is, the movie's okay. Although I can see why the studio thought it would be a little hard to market it to a horror audience in the early to mid-2000s. I don't think that a high percentage of it needed to be redone, but maybe just a punch-up here and there. It does okay, with really being a combination of the first three, from the Catholic guilt of the first to the trippiness of the second, and even a little murder mystery touches here and there, like the third. The problem is that before we get here, the movie is very dry. Very, very dry to a fault. It was actually pretty hard to take notes on it. The first had a really good build-up, because we got to know and like the characters before the horror sets in, and even during that, the creepy cinematography would still give us an uneasy feeling in those early acts. Here, there's not a lot of that. The first 2/3 are a bit bland, where you're tapping your feet, waiting for it to turn into hair all of a sudden, and shots that look cheap for an Exorcist movie, but big budget if it were a Neil Breen movie. I mean, look at this. It looks like if Exorcist 2 was a Tubi movie about killer bugs. The reviews for it appear to have lessened over time. I seem to recall it getting okay reviews when it came out, but I don't know if that's just because it felt better compared to the Harlan version. It did still have its fans. William Peter Blatty had a lot of good things to say about it. It's not a great film, but deserved a little better than what it got, because it was basically put out there to die. It was at one point going to be just a bonus feature on the Harlan version DVD, but when that movie bombed, they gave this a limited theatrical release, albeit with next to no advertising, and they put it out opposite Revenge of the Sith, hence it becoming the lowest grossing of the Exorcist franchise. They treated the movie with as much respect as they did poor Father Francis. The hell? Did you just bury him on the street? Doesn't he have family? And now Father Merrin is off to resist the urge to get so laid, and then meet with Rennie Harlan to do the same damn movie all over again. And it better have more realistic looking hyenas.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.
Unclean spirit, I cast you out! Exorcist, The Beginning. Rated R. Starts August 20th.